Good morning. Reed here, back at Orchestra Farm. Thanks for joining me today. And it's mid-January 2025 right now. Looking at some pretty wet, I don't know if you can see it, but there's in fact a puddle there. It's not really the puddle, it's just where the water's at. There's a bit of it there. And I'm looking at farm here. I thought I might do a little extra stuff around here this morning, which I did, and then I realized how bad the greenhouse up there actually is. So I gotta bring a ladder and some extra tools in to patch that up, and tape won't really work. So I got a couple clamps there and there and there. And if the wind's not too terrible, that should be fine. But I got all this blackberry. I was thinking about messing around with that for a moment. But I actually got to get off to work. So that's life. I'm just noticing like how many different plants are still growing in here. So that's got to be dealt with. And this morning, I'm kind of pondering, what am I doing with this channel? When I originally started, it was a bit of a challenge just to see if I could make a video or two every week, and that was some years ago now. So I have succeeded at that. And then my secondary thought with it was around the idea of creating something of a, what would I call it? A place to attempt to connect with the people who are kind of distant in my life. You know, I live pretty far from most of my family, and with that, I have a bunch of different people I think of as friends that live farther away. And the interesting thing with the channel is that, you know, most of the people who subscribe here are people I don't know in real life. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool and interesting, and okay. And then as it continued, I was like, this is a nice place to, you know, put forward some of my different thoughts and philosophies and things, which I like doing that. And now as I'm, you know, continuing to live my life and develop what I'm doing here on this planet, kind of asking myself this, I might call it a bigger question of, what am I doing making these videos? And because, as any of you who make videos know, that when you're making a video, and let's say it's on a farm-like project here, it's not as easy to get the farm stuff done because you're making a video. Now, I don't have any camera person, or if you've seen the rare video where my eldest is helping make the video, it's seldom that that's the case. And so, you know, as I prepare for this next growing season, and moving from having a fallow year to having a year where I'm growing crops, this morning time is actually in the past a significant moment to accomplish some stuff. And I personally see all of my life reflected through an artistic lens, and so that's important from the context of both, I'd like to see my arts become more of a prominent role in my life, and the thing of, since my connection with the earth is such a prominent space of inspiration and presence, that having those two things like linked up like that feels right to me. But I am wondering, as I prepare for like the Chinese New Year and the real kickoff of what I see as the New Year started, how am I spending my energy, and what is that doing for not only me, but for everyone else in my life? and I joined a men's group in the last quarter of 2024. And one of the things that the fellow there spoke to is like, it's not just about what I get out of the group, it's what I bring to the group. And I'd like to think that making these videos is bringing something to your life. And I'm not saying I need to be a giant influencer or have a huge audience, but this notion of having interactions that feel like there's value there for everybody involved feels consequential. And I'm kind of wondering how that's all going for both of us. So, I'm going to say I feel successful in the realm of I've accomplished the goal. Share, 1 to 2 videos a week. Now I've accomplished that. And maybe it's time to reconsider how I'm spending my energies and doing what I'm doing, and make space for the things that are really important in life. So that's what I'm thinking about this morning. So if you have any comments or questions about any of this, I'd love to hear them. And I want to say thanks for being with me today. It is actually special to have these moments. And thanks for subscribing to the channel. That actually means a lot. That lets me know that people are paying attention, because the views do not match the subscription for the most part. And that's fine, whatever. But all those little bits of feedback from each other, they really matter. So thank you. And with that, I hope that everyone out there is having too much fun.